Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Animal Markets. My name is Chris. Nenad is with us as well. Together, we're going to take a look at the German election of yesterday. And also, of course, as usual, we're going to take a look at Nenad's weekly recap of the major currencies. So that's coming up. But first, two disclaimers. The first is explaining the fact that this webinar is shown to a global audience but may not be suitable for everyone. To find out if it is suitable for you, please take a look at animalmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact an appropriate entity. Second of all, also please note that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This webinar is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this webinar, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. All right, so I'm joining Nenad this time as a guest because of the German elections, and we basically are going to take a look together at that. But don't worry, Nenad will soon, in 15, 20 minutes, take a look at the German elections too, but also, of course, as usual, share his analysis of the major currencies. So let's get started. Thank you, by the way, Guled and others for the welcome. Hope that everyone has had a good weekend and is doing well. And perhaps you noticed that yesterday there were elections. You maybe read a lot about it, so I will keep this part a bit short. But yes, basically voted yesterday for the federal elections, as we already discussed on Friday. In fact, right, basically Germans went out to vote twice, one for the local, one for the national party, and basically the parliament, the Bundestag, then chooses the chancellor. So we have the results, and this is how they look like if you haven't seen it already. Basically, CDU, CSU has won with 33%, and second place is SPD. So for those that don't know, the CDU, CSU is a center-right conservative, or no, I should say Christian party. Political party. SPD is a party of the workers on the left, and they are indeed again the first two, just like in the last decades. But for the first time, they did actually, the performance is one of the weakest since the Second World War. In both cases, they're actually I haven't seen such weak results relatively since I think the 40s or so after the Second World War. So relatively, yes, CDU, CSU has won, but the performance, relatively speaking, is on the weaker side. And that has to do with the fact that smaller parties have entered the arena, specifically AFD and FDP. Last time around, the left and Greens were also present already. Mind you that Germany has a 5% threshold, which keeps smaller parties at a bit difficult kind of entry level. In a way, you need to get 5% at minimum to enter the parliament. So that keeps smaller parties, makes it more difficult for them to join. So what are the winners and losers compared to 2013? You can see CDU, although they won, did lose the most. SPD lost 5%. The biggest winner is the AFD, which is a far-right party that has been basically trying to gain voters off the topics of migration and refugees specifically, and immigration in general. FDP is a liberal right party, pro-business, and left is a left party. Green is in favor of environment and ecological aspects. Very quickly. So this is how the seat distribution is done. And you can see that 2013 had 4 parties, 2017 projection has 6 parties. So basically, what kind of coalition parties or coalition government might we get? The CDU, CSU, as expected, does not have enough, so they need to find partners. So all of these results are more or less expected. Of course, AFD, perhaps the percentage that they got, the far right party, is a bit of a surprise. It's the first time that such a party is in the parliament for decades. So that comes a little bit as a surprise, but not as a surprise at the same time, because the polls did show it. So it depends how you look at it. The fact that CDU, CSU won is not a surprise. The fact that they didn't get as high as a vote maybe is a little bit of surprise. So it's all relative in a way, if you see what I mean. But regarding coalition options, there is no way possible really to form a government without CDU, CSU, right? There's no way to get a government without Merkel's party being in it. Otherwise, I guess there would have to be new elections. So they will be in it unless something fails with their coalition partners. And their potential coalition partners look to be FDP and Greens. But they know that too, so they might give up, put up a tough fight and try to get the most out of it, right? So, but of course, in the end of the day, they too will probably still want to negotiate a little bit because they want ultimately to be probably in the government, right? Although they have to be careful because look what happened with SBD. They were also in the government with CDU, CSU, and now they do not want to be any more involved because they lost ground. They lost 5%, and they're going to go into the opposition that already they announced. So this is called the Jamaica Coalition because of the colors, black, yellow, and green, and they would indeed receive more than 50% if they work together. CDU is not going to work with AFD. Is probably not going to work with SPD because SPD doesn't want to. So this is probably going to take some time, folks. I don't think that this year they're going to find an agreement because of these three parties. It's difficult, more difficult than two parties. All right, that was a quick overview, but let's move on to some challenges and then look at the markets. I'm going to share my view on the euro dollar and DAX. The challenges ahead for Merkel if she manages to form a coalition government, which I would expect she will manage, although, as I said, will take some more time. 2 months is average, but be on the lookout for 3 months in this case. So what will dominate her agenda? Her fourth one actually, and that would make it 16 years in total. Between now and 2021/2022, I guess, EU reform on the agenda, Euro crisis still, how would that continue? Migration questions, social inequality, international politics with Russia and US in vision. How does she deal with that? And basically, in the next 4 years, how is she going to win back, as she already has indicated that she wants to do, those AFD voters? Because there was a discontent there, and people also went to not only to AFD but also to the Liberal Party, a business party, by the way, which FDP indeed. So how is she going to tackle that, right? How is she going to make sure that that party does not grow in her, in 4 years, 5 years with new elections? So those are the things on her mind probably. From a social inequality point of view, it is something that she really didn't mention too much. The Socialist Party did, and you might be wondering why GDP is going up, unemployment is going down. But if you look at the statistics, indeed, higher income, earning a lot, 28% up, lower income, 9% down over the past 20 years or so, if I remember correctly. Also, the Germans at risk of falling into poverty up from 11, about 16. So it's not going down, as you can see that. So I think that these things are probably on her mind and are things that I think she was going to want to tackle. All right, so let's take a look at the charts now. And this is DAX weekly chart. Maybe we can even take a quick look at monthly chart. All right, there we go. So big recession, of course, right here, big drop as well. Throughout that time, 2009, a climb, 2011, still a dip. There was a bit of a scare for that double dip of a double dip recession here. But after that, steady upside for the DAX, lifting on good German exports, right? So German economy overall showing strong signs. And you can see that translated into DAX, basically moving up from about 5,000 here, all the way up to 12,500. So almost tripling in a way. Certainly when compared to the 2009 low. Of course, last year, we kept an eye on this last year already with our analysis on Tuesdays, Wednesdays with admiral markets. Big correction, but ultimately about roughly a year ago, right? We started another upside leg from 10,000 to 12,500, right? This was in a triangle, and you got the break to the upside. So how long will this breakout last? Let me put the triangle on the charts like this. We had this triangle break, and then within the triangle, or after the triangle, price went sideways, and we were analyzing this live saying this is a sideways correction. So we had momentum sideways and indeed momentum. All right, so all these patterns, very useful. Triangle break, sideways break, uptrend continuation. Well, how long will this last? Well, things we can do are basically for that are if we don't have any support or resistances to work with, because we don't. Historically, we're at highs, but we can use Fibonacci targets. We can put a fib from this swing high to this swing low. There we go. One target to think about, maybe the minus 272 target. That's still pretty far from here. Not 100% sure we'll get there, but that could be something to think about. If we look at the weekly chart, we can put perhaps a fib from this swing high, from this swing high to this swing high like this, and we can see a most recent 23.6 fib bounce. All right, so upside targets are still there. For the moment, this seems to be just a simple bull flag pattern, which we can also put lines on like this. All right, there we go. So to me, it looks like momentum. We had basically a pullback to the 23.6 fib, or even maybe the 38. Depends on which fib you use exactly. We can use this one maybe. Pretty neat how it respected the 38.2 fib right there. So unless it really breaks below the 50 fib, I would say 38. This is still looking pretty much bullish and could continue. Monthly candles have shown some kind of retracement, and that is the first time since, well, 1.5 years ago. Something to be cautious of, but otherwise I think everything is looking bullish. So very important though is how price will respond into this resistance zone. Price is right there. At this moment, this might not be a great, from a weekly point of view, this might not be a good spot because price is so close to resistance. So we can look at the daily chart and look at how this break of this bull flag is looking like within the larger weekly and daily trends. So there are two scenarios. One is that this is weakness for a larger ABC correction like this, back to, for instance, the 50 fib or back to the 38.2 fib, right? In both cases, 11,500 is important. All right, so as long as price stays above 11,500, still uptrend. If it breaks below that, we might be looking at basically a larger kind of correction on DAX. So back to the daily chart. And how is this breakout looking like on a daily 4-hour chart? Let's take a look right now. So this is pretty much strong momentum yet again. So what I think would be look best for 4-hour daily chart is some kind of bull flag on the 4-hour chart. We got a pretty much good breakout. Put a fib again from the breakout spot to the breakout top, and looking kind of for a bull flag formation like this to the 38. 12,400 I think could be a bouncing spot, 12,300, and a continuation then to 12,800 to 13,000 is likely. So something like this and a continuation. Now, if price breaks below 12,300, that's when I would be cautious of this breakout. In that case, this could be weakness, and we might get the bigger correction down to that 11,500. So 12,300, important. If it stays above it, there's a chance of this continuation up to retest this top. So that's what I'm looking at for the moment. I have nothing really to add besides that. Let's see if it does make a retracement. If it does, let's see if it bounces or if it breaks for further downside. Next on the list, euro dollar, and then Nenad is going to take over. And when I talk about patterns like this, by the way, one quick note on patterns like that, basically, when looking at DAX, for instance, one second. There we go. So when I'm talking about bull flags like this, what I want to see, very important here, is choppy price action and candlestick patterns stopping at the 38.2 fib, engulfing twins, spin bars, something like that. If price flies down like this and starts to show a bear flag, that's very important information from the market showing bearish impulse. Then that changes dynamic. In that case, there's a good chance if there's bearish momentum followed by a bear flag that there could be a continuation to the downside. I'll keep an eye on both support and resistance in that case for a bullish break or downside break. But bearish momentum like that is definitely a strong kind of warning sign. So that's how you always want to use patterns. Impulse correction are the building blocks of price, building blocks of the market, and give a lot of info by continuously analyzing momentum correction. We can understand patterns and understand the market structure with a lot more clarity and depth than any other concept available. All right. So your dollar daily chart, basically, when we look at the monthly chart, obviously strong upside, weekly chart, strong upside, but we're getting some kind of pause here. You can see that within this uptrend, we're getting a pause, and you can see that on the daily chart, we're having a sideways range and a potential head and shoulders pattern like this, right? So that's something to be aware that could play a factor. This head and shoulders pattern could be something that might break, and it looks like it could be breaking right now. So if it does break the head and shoulders pattern, it's also breaking the support trend line and the uptrend channel like this that has lasted for more than half a year in the meantime, this uptrend channel. So uptrend channel out, head and shoulders line could be out if it breaks through 118.50. Overall, though, even if it does make a retracement, I still think that this is a bullish environment, and I still keep an eye on this fib. Sorry, not sure which one I use, probably this one, perhaps, or this one. Maybe this one. I'm not sure which one I used in my wave analysis, but basically, for the moment, we can use this one. But if it breaks, we might even want to expand it to this one, for instance. All right. So about 117.50 could still be a bouncing spot, but ultimately, I think price could go down to 115 and the 38.2 fib. That is a level where price could easily retrace to if it breaks, and could easily bounce back up and continue with the uptrend. It depends how price falls here. It's unknown, right? It's not difficult to say at this moment, but that could be, if it moves choppily, it could be a good bouncing spot at this moment, 115 up to 122.50, then perhaps 125. So looking at the 4-hour chart, though, we look at the bearish breakout at this moment. When do we know when we have a bearish breakout and when that trade to the downside can start? I'll be looking at this daily candle very simply. If this daily candle is bearish like this, with a bearish close near the low, preferably breaking below this 118.50, 118.40, then tomorrow I will probably be looking for downside, on lower time frames. I'll have a webinar on that with Adam Markets. We'll take a look at intraday trading and how it looks like tomorrow. But if there is a good break, good daily candle close, and we see the bear flag like this, I think a break of the bear flag and continuation seems likely. Fibs also make sense in this case, putting a fib from here, for instance, to here, wherever it stops. At this moment, the low is here, but it could be lower. And let's say it stops here, and price the most likely bouncing spot range is 118.50, 118.30, max 118.75. That's a whole region where price could stop, 118.30 to up to 118.75, but price should not break above 119 in that case, with the target down at 117.50. The S2 weekly S2 and the minus 272 target. So something like this would then be very likely. But the trigger, in my view, is the daily candle. All right, if it does bounce, last thing, if it does bounce, which doesn't seem that likely, then price could just simply go back to the top of this range. For that to happen, I would probably need to see a bullish candle or some kind of rejection daily candle here, where today's candle maybe ends up here unexpectedly. I don't expect that, but you never know. It is an open candle, so in that case, some hook back and more upside to the top of the range is possible. But otherwise, this looks like a good bearish break, so should continue. But if it does, for whatever reason, show a reverse like this and a bull flag, then I wouldn't mind trading it, in that case, to the upside, just to give you both perspectives what I'm waiting for. So I'm waiting for candles, price action to confirm my direction because price is in a range and at the bottom of a range. But once it does that, I will probably have my trade direction in mind for this week. If it doesn't break but bounces, then I'm prepared for that too, and I will be looking for patterns on smaller time frames to continue to the upside. All right, in that case, I will put a fib from here to the top, look for about a 50 fib bounce, and aim for the R1. All right, that was my view on the Eurodollar at the moment, and I'm going to take a look. I'm going to share now my screen with Nenad.
Hey
Hi there,
Chris, great views as always. And yes, now we are continuing with setups for this week. Before I start, as always, I will show you past week results. So this is a session recap that is dedicated strictly to trading just after the German election. So we already have some nice movement. Well, honestly, guys, I made really huge amounts of pips today. Today is one of the best days for trading in last definitely month or two. First of all, euro dollar broke to the downside below the channel as expected. Then pound yen bounced up, then reversed. So I made some nice pips on both euro dollar and pound yen. You could have seen both analyses today. We shared it, and definitely really great start of the week. So for all of you who are following, I will show you today's analysis first, then the past week results. So this was euro dollar today, and straight from this POC here below 1890 it dropped, and I said it will drop probably because this is the vantage point, and the vantage point is basically where we have POC that can actually go either up or down. So you need to watch the break of the level. So the first bounce was here. It was like, I showed you on my Twitter yesterday. I traded this gap close, and until morning it almost closed. It stopped short of 6 pips actually. So I can assume that the gap is closed. We don't aim always for a straight to the pip. This was a common gap. The gap, in my opinion, is closed because it came 6 pips from the gap open here. And well, as I say, you always need to have a buffer of a couple of pips. And I traded this yesterday. I traded this drop today, also pound yen. So first analysis was shared here, course, on Admiral Markets website. Then, course, I share it also on my Facebook page via Elite Currency. So basically, you could have seen it's very strong, and especially because the pound yen is the dragon, guys. The pound yen is the dragon. Here it is. Okay, the uptrend slope remained positive. The price utterly respected the analysis. Really, guys, here, for example, if you open the chart, you can see the price got here to 151.35 and it spiked straight towards 85. It couldn't break this 85, so it dropped. But definitely this was the channel bottom, so the price spiked from this spot towards the the middle line, and then it dropped again. So 3 times. Yeah, I will share the result on Twitter just slightly after I finish this webinar. So just follow what Chris and I post. We post also on our Facebook page, and the first analysis is always posted on Admiral Markets. So yeah, just follow us there. We always leave a contact here, so you can always see. So the Admiral Markets analytics page here, education. You have analytics tab, and here is the technical analysis. That is my part, and wave analysis. That is actually Chris' part. So yes, if you traded euro dollar today, you could have made some nice pips. Yes, okay. Yeah, this is MT5, guys. I'm already starting to trade also on MT5. This is another of my accounts that I opened. Yes, so I will show you also here. Some indicators that Chris and I developed will also be coded for the MT5. So expect the first wave of indicators for MT5. It will be 10 indicators, including, of course, Camarilla indicator that will be developed also for MT5. We already contacted our coder and he will develop it for the MT5. We need to, guys, also trade on MT5 because we are going through the change. The MT5 now is being pushed more and more, much more aggressive than the MT4, and the MT5 is the present and the future. It's great for forex trading now, and you can also trade, as you can see, you can trade equities, you can trade crypto coins, you can trade, guys, whatever you like, whatever you wish. You can also trade forex. So this is another tool that we need to use, and the MT5 is simply rocking now. Okay, so guys, okay, let's see past week results. Euro dollar. Okay, this is the past week result. I will show you. Just let me show you the result, and I will show you setups. Euro dollar, 100 pips, alternative trade. Pound dollar, 165 pips, positional trade. Australian dollar, plus 70. Dollar CAD, minus 30. Pound yen, alternative trade, didn't qualify. Total pips pool, 305. Although I think I saw a big spike on dollar CAD, then it dropped to POC, and I actually traded this setup, so I managed with this loss. I actually made some profits on dollar CAD afterwards, but well, according to the setups that I posted, because of some rumors that hit the wire just after we finished session recap for the previous week, it went in a stop loss, but then subsequently it retraced for huge amounts of pips. I will show you now what happened. So this vertical line always represents the time of our webinar. So the time of our webinar is 4 p.m. GMT. It's 6 p.m. my time, or Central European time. It's 7 p.m. platform time. And here it is, 7 p.m. Here, this sell trade initiated here. Big drop. Although, guys, I'm not sure that you traded all the way down to there, but this was one of the great trades that I posted for the previous week. Actually, it happened slightly before we had Wednesday trading session. So this was a big drop, big drop, and euro dollar went straight away from the POC zone. Pound dollar, definitely the trade of the week. This is the slide, yes, that I use also for Twitter. So here we had a positional buy trade that was initiated here or there. So I think you could have also longed here. And I said, if you remember for a previous week webinar, I said, now we will probably have a pound dollar long set up. It happened here or there. Now it depends where you entered. We trade the first touch though. but watch what happened. Straight to the target, and even it overshot the target. So this was the trade of the week. Okay, so pound yen, euro dollar was very, very good. It dropped straight from the POC 2050. Then pound dollar was good. We had a buy setup. Then Australian dollar, we had a buy position initiated. And I was thinking maybe to add Australian dollar also. And it can be maybe the trade of the week because my target was only 70 pips. But watch what happened, guys. It went for 170 pips. So definitely, I was very, very happy how the trade went. But sometimes you cannot aim for much. So we go with the ATR. Of course, that ATR sometimes it's broken, but it doesn't matter because Australian dollar was very, very good, and it spiked all the way up to the target and even higher. Now dollar CAD, straight up to the webinar, there were some rumors regarding rate hikes, and BOC governor Mr. Polos, I think he said something about watching currency rates. And what happened, it was always buy the rumor, sell the fact, guys. Buy the rumor, sell the fact is a famous quote that we traders use. Basically, this was it. Buy the rumor, sell the fact. This was sell the fact here, 22.90. After it hit the stop loss, it rejected from 22.90 straight down to 21.98. And I was telling, I think a guy asked me on Twitter, what do I think about dollar CAD now? And I said, I don't care. I will sell it from 22.90 again. And it actually happened. 22.90. I sold it again there. I didn't, of course, I didn't expect it to drop straight here because after this spike, I thought it would be just a simple retracement. But then at least I made some 30 pips on this. It actually made up for this buy the rumor loss. And you see, so but just because of the sake of the webinar and of showing results, yeah, I have actually counted this as a loss. Well, but actually 305 pips possible. I hope that you made at least 20-30% out of this pip pool because this was very, very good. I hope that you made money, guys. And as I say, this week start is excellent. Excellent, huge amount of pips to be made today. Thank you, German elections. I definitely didn't want to be very, very, very volatile, but it was very calm. It respected the analysis to the pip, and that is what I like to see after the election. So there was not huge volatility. Much better to trade euro dollar because euro dollar is also one of the pairs that can make significant moves even if there is no such events as huge volatility on unexpected election result as it was this time. So we didn't have any unexpected result aside from the AfD party that got into the parliament, Bundestag. But well, some things happen. As Chris said, I also think it was it was basically a vote from the people that were not happy. It was a vote of the protest. Okay, it was. I think that also most of those people who voted like that also basically don't support that strong right wingers. But well, then again, it was basically maybe a wake up call for government to start working on things that obviously some people are not happy with. But as I say, I will also publish the blog tomorrow or day after tomorrow. You will be noted. Germany is always a strong, the German democracy is very strong, so I don't think that there will be any problems. And it will probably take some time to make a new coalition. But well, then again, German politics and policy will not change. It is set in stone. Germany is a democratic party, and democratic foundations are strongly rooted into the country itself. So I don't expect anything regarding big surprises or any surprises in the market. So that is why we should trade both euro dollar and DAX and those currencies such as pound yen. We should trade it heavily now in upcoming months, guys. Yeah, and finally, this was pound yen for the previous week. As you can see, the pound yen, I gave you two positions. It was a buy and sell position. None of that actually happened during the time, because we trade these session recaps from Monday till Wednesday, because on Wednesday we have new trading day. It's Wednesday live trading with me, so I'm making new setups. These setups are valid today, tomorrow, and early Wednesday. So total pip pool for the previous week was 305, and it was very, very, very good because you know, markets are not always giving us such amounts of pips. Now, for this week, euro dollar, I think now we are going into a sell territory. Definitely, the intraday trend turned into a downtrend. I gave you the analysis today. Again, for all of you who joined up a little bit later, we had a good sell from the POC zone, and if you read my my analysis carefully, if 1890 is taken out, the price could drop to 1880 and 1850. That actually happened, and well, it was a great to trade today, euro dollar. But well, because of this breakout, now we are, this is, and for all of you who were actually asking about the gap and this channel here, I will I already explained. I traded this gap, and this gap, for me, the gap is closed, because the gap actually was at 1942, and the price went to 1936. When you I explained it many times on my webinars. If you aim for the gap close, don't do it literally to the pip, because the market is not perfect. It won't close the gap sometimes perfectly. But this was the gap close according to the market, definitely, because you see this was the top here. It was straight. It was just 6 pips below the low. So I assume that the gap was indeed closed. And yes, I traded, guys, this. A lot of people actually asked me, okay, Nenad, you told us that you will go long. So did you trade it? Did you actually traded this setup? Guys, yes, I traded that setup. Yes, indeed, I traded this setup. And again, definitely this was one of yeah, you see here, I traded. It says buy euro dollar 1919, and I had 1909 also. So yes, you see here, this is a screenshot from my mobile phone. Okay, I usually post these screenshots. It's much easier for me to capture the screen and post it. Yes, I have traded. I traded this. You see, yeah, definitely. You know, what I analyze for you, I also trade. Just the exception can be if I forget to put some order, or if if I'm so busy, then sometimes I might skip the trade. But what I see, I trade. What I give here to you, what I analyze, I also trade. So here you can see easily that now this channel is broken. This is Andrew's pitchfork. And I said that Andrew's pitchfork is working wonders with Camarilla also. So you have this line. I will also do a blog on Andrew's pitchfork. It's a great tool to add to existing channels and polynomial trigonometrical regression channels. They work very, very good in conjunction with Camarilla, of course, Camarilla MACD method. And here, yet another example how these trades actually worked out. So yes, excellent euro dollar. I am very happy with it. And now what can we expect basically is I will probably sell it again. 1900 will be a sell. 1790 could be a buy spot. Now it's in no man's land at this point. And here I will show you straight away. I will show you the screen. Euro dollar here. Okay, here. Okay, so euro dollar, 4-hour time frame. And for all of you who joined up later, yes, we are working on Camarilla Pro indicator for the MT5. That will be announced when it's done, but I guess during next month we will also have, of course, the MT5 Camarilla. Uh, why? Because I also will trade live on this MT5 account. Okay. Of course, this is live account, and definitely, I want to show you how to trade also on the MT5 new platform that is very good, and I really like it a lot. So yeah, okay. Let's get back. Euro dollar 19.00 sell. Here the price broke through this channel. We can also place a trend line here. Definitely a big confluence here. Okay, guys, you can see the confluence. Now there is a WL3. You know, the price really likes to respect. Uh, uh, yeah, there is a lot of touches. There were a lot of touches of this zone in the past, you see here, and now we are having a sell-off. This is some sort of M bearish pattern, and definitely M is very good, okay, but when you trade it, when you see a retest, we already had a sell position on euro dollar. As I said today, 19.00 was a sell. Now the price is going down. On 4-hour time frame, if I see a retest of this trend line WL3, a lot of confluence here, guys, I think it will drop more. And of course, because this level was not tested, monthly L3 1785, it's very close to WL5, historical buyers there also. I think this could be a counter trend trade if the price gets there. So 19.00 or 1795. Let's see what will be hit. Next is pound dollar, and the question Ilya was asking, why last couple of times you and Admiral mentioned MT5. Is there a plan to bury MT4 next year? Other brokers do the same. I wonder why. Okay, Ilya, according to what I know, the thing is that it's not, it's not broker's wish. It's how the industry is working now. You will still have the possibility to trade on MT4 and also MT5, but in some point in time, I don't know when, there will be a transition from the MT4 to MT5. I don't know when. And that is what also many other brokers do. That is because meta quotes, okay, and they want to popularize MT5. Okay, why? Because the MT5, yes, guys, I need to revise this setup. Please don't enter until I see what is going on here. So the MT5 is improved. The MT5 back in days, you couldn't hedge, you couldn't do anything without first in, first out rule, and the MT5 was meant for stock trading. Now the MT5 actually incorporates everything: stock indices, cryptocurrencies, forex market, and you can hedge. You don't have first in, first out rule. Now I already did a webinar on MT5. Many things improved, and have in mind that the best coders that were on Forex TSD forums, some of them I know personally because I was also a member of forextsd.com. They all switched to MT5, MQL5, and now one of the biggest coders out there, maybe one of the biggest coders in the world, Mladen Rakic, he's also working exclusively on MT5, right? So everything now is shifting towards the MT5. You have so many indicators that you don't have on MT4, and slowly, guys, slowly, MT4 is dying slowly. So there will be a point in time when, there will be a change. But for now, of course, you are able and you will be able to trade both on MT4 and MT5. Okay, now pound dollar, yes, pound dollar. Bob is asking, does ECN work on MT5? No, there is only one MT5 account now, and yeah, this is a real account, live account MT5. You have a lot of things. For ECN, stick to MT4 ECN, and this time it's only you see here. It's not ECN, but still for some majors, the spread is very, very low. Okay, so yeah, now let's move on to pound dollar. Pound dollar, I said 34.55. I will do a recalculation now. Yeah, I would actually say it's very close to the POC zone, and now the only thing is this is the low. So 35 to 34.50 is actually the POC. Yeah, it's very close, and I would say here 34.40, but you might open maybe a small position here, okay, but very small position, because it might spike now. The only thing now, it's end of day. I don't particularly like end of day setups, but yeah, I mean, this is the drop for the pound dollar, and here it is definitely now in the POC zone. It's in the POC zone. 34.40 is the medium point. 34.55, 34.25 is this zone, and 34. I would say 34.00 now, because the price is still over a little bit extended to the downside. So I would say 34.00 here, and TP should be changed to, yeah, definitely the TP should be 35.15. 35.15. Yeah, I'm doing now recalculation, guys, and 35.50 is actually sell position. Wait, I will just do a re-analysis now. 35.90 here is actually, yeah, this should be it. 34.40. Okay, so this is the real slide, guys. Neglect this slide. Okay, so I am making a new one. Okay, so this is pound dollar. What I think it might happen. So a pound dollar could actually spike from 34.40 zone, and stop loss is 34.00. 35.15 is TP. Sell is 35.50. 35.90 is stop. 34.40 is TP. Yes, it could run the stops. Indeed, that is what I'm afraid, guys. Watch this. That is what I try to be very careful of. Here you see this is definitely still uptrend, big uptrend, but this is correction. If you pull a Fibonacci from this spot to this spot, you will see that this is actually the zone. You see it's very close, 38.2. It's very, very close. Also, you have WL3, you have monthly H5, okay, and the only thing is risk of running the stops below 34.00. But if it happens, it can go to 33.80. Yes, Rex, you're right. It can run the stops all the way up to here. I don't think it should go below, because DMA 89 now is climbing. So it actually, this is the zone. But you know, if you put an entry here with a big stop, then your target that is actually in between WH1 and WH3 is not that valid. So the pound dollar is not that good. It's not that good now for trading. It's a little bit, you can see the ATR. It's 139, 140. So the ATR is almost overshot. You see? So that is why we need to be very careful about placing longs. I think, yeah, 33.55 or 33.80, if it gets there, could be better to actually go long, but just pay attention to 34.40. I will add this to my slide. Okay, please also pay attention to 33.80. 33.80. This is important. So pay attention to 1.3380. It is very, very important, guys. Okay, so because the price might spike, okay, might go up. Yes, I will show you the screen now. So this is pound dollar again. Pay attention to 33.80. It might go up if it collects stops below actually 34, 35, or yeah, this is typo. Yeah, 34.40. Let's see. Yeah, 34. It's okay. So if it runs stops below 34, it can run down to 33.80. So, but it can go up from this spot. So pay attention. It's already in the POC zone. So yeah. Ilya is saying, let the traders here vote. How many support long at 33.80? Yeah, I think a lot of people, yeah, of course, Ilya, and I think many traders also think that it could go long here, right, guys? Martin is saying yes. You see, guys, it's EMA 89, it's WL4, so it's weekly strong support. But now this is also POC zone because of weekly L3, because of monthly H5, because of near-term history of buyers here. You see buyers, these are historical buyers. They're showing an exact same spot here. Assam is also saying he would like to trade 33.80. So yes, I think it could go up from this spot, but also from this spot. So, you know, it's already rejecting, guys. You see, the low was 34.30, so it's 20 pips up. You see, the low was already hit here, 34.30. Now it's going up again. So yes, as you can see, the POC zone is very strong. Australian dollar, it's ranging 79.90 possible sell, 80.25 stop loss. TP is 0.7880. Positional buy 78.80. Stop 78.45. TP 79.90. We also need to check always for some important events, and yeah, I mean, you can go to, of course, calendar section, and there you will be able to see risks for. This is how I do it. I usually watch Forex Factory calendar because I have a habit of Forex Factory calendar. I've been using it for more than 10 years. But definitely here you can also find it on Admiral Markets, and you can apply filters here. So here the only big news today was IFO business. We don't have Australian dollar, obviously. Okay, and just to make sure, I always check two calendars, because when you have two calendars, they make it up for the lack of, let's say, some news. Okay, let's see now. Australian dollar only, RBA government bulk speaks. Yeah, it's not important that much, I guess. Yeah, I don't see anything here that is that important. Okay. Let me log in. Yeah, this is me on Forex Factory calendar here. Yeah, basically we don't have anything very strong for the Australian dollar, but this week will be heavy in fundamentals here. Yeah, my time currently is 6:55. It's not UK, it's Central European time zone. UK time is 5 p.m. 55. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Indeed, Yeah, you can also, yeah, just a quick introduction. You can see it here. Yeah, when I actually started to post on Forex Factory June 17, 2010. Yeah, it brings up some memories. Now, dollar cat 23.15 possible buy, 22.80 stop, 24.55 TP, uh, and alternative sell is 24.55, 24.90 stop, 23.60 is TP. Wait, just I need to answer. So 23.15 is positional buy. Okay, this is the dollar CAD. 23.15 positional buy. The price could probably retest here. Do you know? Uh, do you know which pattern this is, guys? This is one of the patterns that frequently shows up in forex market. Do you know which pattern this is? Now I'm showing you. Yes, Ilya, cup with handle, indeed. This is cup with handle, and this looks bullish to me. So if you just place a trend line here, and if you zoom into lower time frame, 1 hour, you will see what I'm actually talking about. 23.15 is a possible buy. It's very close in the zone. Okay, so this is 23.15. So 23.15, 23.35, 23.00. This is the zone. A lot of confluence here. This is inverted head and shoulders on 1 hour time frame. Inverted head and shoulders on 4 hour time frame. It's capped with candle. So this is bullish. Sell trade possibly around weekly H4. Huge confluence with monthly L1. Hasn't been retested now. Double bottom. This is order block here. This is the top of the projection. So definitely dollar CAD. This is the position for dollar CAD. And pound yen already dropping. Now, before I show you pound yen, let me move to DAX index, guys. DAX here, the index is, as you can see, yeah, this is time frames. We will actually customize now time frames. I'll remove this and I will actually add weekly here. You see how it's easy to work with MT5. Now we have weekly. There is a mix of signals from different time frames. Weekly is showing some signs of possible retracement, but is very bullish. Monthly, guys, here is very bullish. Daily here is showing some possible signs of a drop, because if this is left shoulder, if this is the head, this could be a start of the right shoulder, and this is what I think it could drop. So the DAX could drop. If DAX drops, then pound yen drops too. Pound yen now is still in uptrend, but we can sell it around 150.60. Now the overall picture is very similar to DAX, because equities or forex follows equities. It's basically pound yen and DAX are moving in very similar direction. Very similar. Monthly strong candle, weekly also strong, daily mixed, and now 4 hour starting to drop. So 1 hour time frame, a big drop. Okay, and what can happen is basically, you see this is head and shoulders here. It was screaming for a sell, and I traded pound yen to the short side also. I had both and long and shorts today. First long position was from 100, where I said 100 and 51.30. I will show you this. That was very good trade. Okay, from this spot I went long, and then I closed my trade here. I was profit stop. Then I went short because, as I already showed you, there was a channel. Now 149.40. This could be a good spot to go long. 149.40. Okay, this is the spot. Okay, and I will show you why. You can zoom into 4-hour time frame. Go into the past. Let me zoom out. I need to show you on daily, obviously. You see here, this was the spot where price spiked heavily to the upside before it was broken again. So if it wants to go down, it should go up first, right? So 145.40 is the spot where I would go long. Okay, here. And it's also very close to WL4, strong support on weekly. If we want to sell, 150.60 is a sell spot. Let's see which will be hit first, which level. 150.60 is a level to go short. It's also strong. 150.60. It's a strong zone. Daily L3 level, very close, and this is order block now. Okay. Yeah, Ilya is saying he hates yen pairs because he observes that while yen pairs make clear logic, DAX 30 makes nasty fake moves before it goes to trend direction. Even FTSE makes more logical moves, therefore I hate DAX. Well, I need to tell you, pound yen is more stable than DAX, but yen follows equities. So when equities are up, pound yen usually is up. When equities are down, pound yen is down. But of course, correlation cannot be 100%, right? I mean, you cannot have 100% of correlation. That is why you will see some probably fake moves and then it gets back into a track. There is a correlation. Yeah, he says he hates DAX, but I love yen. Well, I love yen too, but DAX also I will probably start to trade too, but yen I really do love because it's my favorite pair. Definitely favorite pair. Yes, yen pairs in forex, of course, they make logical moves because forex is not equities and forex is more stable. And definitely, yeah, indeed, Ilya, I agree with you. I need to agree. That is why I am mostly a forex trader. I mean, 95% I trade forex market, and I even dare to say 98%. But I will also trade others, indeed. I mean, I know how to make money on forex market, and that is my biggest strength, and that is why I prefer pound yen. Because if other pairs are moving 100 pips, pound yen is moving 200 pips. That is what I like to see. So 149 possible 40 rejection here. 150.60 could also reject. So guys, we are already over the time. I will do a recap of these slides. So yeah, let's see. Euro dollar here, pound dollar here, Australian dollar here, dollar CAD here, and pound yen. And the last comment, Ilya is saying when there was a Fed news last week, dollar yen was making a big move. Yes, of course, dollar yen will always react to Fed news because yen is a risk currency. It is the best gauge to actually determine risk on, risk off sentiment. Definitely watch dollar yen indeed. Thank you guys. I think that we really showed you how to trade this post German elections fever. Fortunately for us, there is no fever. There is just ordinary setups that have been remade because, the market changed the direction today. So that is why actually we needed to, of course, include German post-election setups because some trends have changed. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Huge. I really appreciate all of your comments. Many people always join up. I'm really trying to reply to all of you guys, but usually there is more than 120, 130 people here constantly. So it's very hard to answer all of your questions, but just come here trade with us, watch our analysis. Please watch your risk, and believe me, guys, you will be fine. Okay, I'm here, and both Chris and I are here to help you. Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you, Ilya, and talk to you soon, guys. Cheers. Trade safe.